Good afternoon, Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. A few people reached out to me on Saturday evening during Picture Slam, the Alan Carr show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm slightly worried I may be the cause of some potential divorces. Mark in Seaburn says that. He said, I've been walking around the house all week going, pick a picture! And now my wife wants me out of the house. A few people have said that, been driving the family mad. I just said I'd got this sort of... I couldn't help myself. Whenever that Alan Carr show is on the Saturday evening, it's on the back, I just keep shouting, pick a picture!
And it didn't come out.
It didn't come out. That's what you sent it to me, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right. Come on then. Press your button.
Good luck.
Oh, that's Andy's phone there. Anyway, let's move on. More important matters. What is that?
Take a picture.
Pick a picture. That's it, yeah. I'm sorry about that, folks. And a number of you kind of sat in front of TV shows over the years, Kids Telly, and had an underlying effect on you. Andy in the Black Country said, I went through the original and new Fireman Sam with my kids, but in the end I really liked it and would then start watching it when they weren't there.
That's not good.
And got very upset and angry in the new version when Bella wasn't in them. All right, Andy, calm down.
That's a bit
This is Wayne Rooney saying
too much detail.
he had the snip so he wouldn't have to watch Mr. Tumble again. TalkSport.com, text 81089, tweet
David Gandy, the
TSNTG.
male models, had a right go at Peppa Pig's dad today in the press.
God, it's all kicking off in the world of kids' TV.
It's not right.
Let's move on to more adult matters.
Okay.
The outbreak of violence that was Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. Danny Kelly joins us. Good afternoon, Dan.
Well, good afternoon. Glad to see I've been relegated below stories of the Teletubbies. I've been largely humiliated throughout my lengthy radio career, but this is a new low, isn't it?
That's right.
It's marvellous.
Can you hold on, Danny? We want to talk about Tots TV and Mr. Tumble. But anyway, let's move on to more important matters. Yeah, it was just one of those sort of one-all kicking match derbies, really, with the occasional bit of football breaking out in between, wasn't it?
Very enjoyable, yeah. The way a London derby ought to be between two very, very competitive teams. Obviously, Andy will tell me that whether Chelsea are actually training these days with 10 men because they are racking up Wenger style these red cards, aren't they?
It's 4 in 13 games. It's on course for 12 for the season. It's madness. You can't win anything doing that.
No.
Yeah, although they did play really, really well, Chelsea, I thought it was fair to say. And, Arsenal at the other end of the scale, no Gabriel or Saliba for the first time in years that neither of them have appeared for Arsenal. And they found solutions like finding solutions to everything. And, again, Gyökeres is injured. Mikel Merino, he gets only important goals, and it was an important equaliser. And I thought Arsenal might go on to win, but Chelsea are improving. The eye test tells you that whatever about points and all the rest of it, Chelsea are improving incrementally week after week. The victory in the Champions League in the middle of the week must have told the players once again that they are a coming force. And so in the end, both sides can say that they were pleased with the end result. But, Andy's right. Chelsea have got to get those red cards out of the system, otherwise it will cost them eventually. And Arsenal 17 unbeaten in all competitions. Only the best teams put together runs like that.
Oh, yeah, they're a great side. But the first 35 minutes, I thought Chelsea were on top. And we'll never know what would have happened, because if Chelsea had scored, Arsenal might have changed the approach. So you can't say.
I like the fact he was bold. That even with 10 men, Garnacho and Delap came on.
Finally learned his lesson, and he learned from David Moyes as well on Monday night. Who showed the right way forward. I must say, criticising the Chelsea fans, the classless, not all of them but by any means, but the classless booing of Madueke, we were going mad and saying, this is no class. This boy did nothing wrong. He gave Chelsea 3 years good service. He played really well. We won trophies with him, and we got 30 million. He
didn't angle for a move, did he?
£30 million profit on him, and he never badmouthed the club when he left. So why'd you boo a player like that? It's not like Sol Campbell or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was really classless by these people that did that.
Well, okay, you've put them in their place, Andy. But, no Saliba, no Gabriel, and, of course, Chelsea score from a set piece from a corner, quite noticeably, So it's going to be look, the other guys are getting their feet under the table, but they're not the same, are they? And we'll see in the fullness of time.
Boring to watch Arsenal, though. They take an age over every restart. It's deliberate. It's deliberate to try and disturb the concentration of the defence. So free kicks, throw-ons, corners. I mean, you just sit there waiting and waiting. I'll get on with it. Really.
I mean, it's interesting, Andy. It's academically interesting, at least, that it's the opposite to what the same club used to do under Arsene Wenger, where if you remember the multi-ball and all the rest of it, their thing was to play millions of passes in the game, have as much movement in the game as possible, make it go as fast as they can about everything to overwhelm the opposition. Yeah. Arsenal's new team is all about controlling every moment and every facet of the game.
Let's move on then to West Ham 0, Liverpool 2. Again, it's a really sad build-up to the game with the death of Billy Bonds.
Yeah,
a player that all of us remember watching. He was one of those players, even if he didn't play for your club, you loved Billy Bonds because he was a proper old-school, wholehearted player, wasn't he?
Paul, that's right. Thank you for giving us just a few seconds to pay tribute to Billy Bonds there. I mean, in my opinion, the best Englishman never to get a single cap for his country. It was no problem. He looked like a pirate as well, which was really good with the long hair and the beard at various times in his career. And you're absolutely right. He's one of those players who you wished played for your club. And there are very few of those normally. And I did mention to this, I think I said it on social media yesterday, during an interview I did with him, some years ago. I said to Billy, I always wished that you'd have played for Spurs. He gave me a look that could be best described as old-fashioned. I didn't press the subject, put it no more strongly than that. A real great man, and what a loss.
Martin Samuel made the point there that though it was very nice that Jared Bryan laid the shirt out in front of the stand, it would have been better if it had been a proper West Ham shirt with light blue sleeves. I know people are funny about stuff like that, but I know what he means.
I mean, there was very little time. The news only broke just before the game, but it was incredibly sad.
I'm sure there'll be further tributes to him at West Ham because he's one of their absolute bedrocks, isn't he?
Absolutely.
But Paquetá, I mean, seriously, how can you... I was only listening to the game and the commentators are saying, no, he won't leave the referee. Allison's saying to him, go away. Everybody's trying to stop him, but he won't go. He keeps going. I mean, it wasn't like the highlights. It went on and on and on. And you think, you're mad. And then he blames the FA for his behaviour. I'm sorry, but that's just not on.
Oh, it was... I mean, look, one doesn't want to make facile comparisons, but on the day that Billy Bonds was being honoured, to see a West Ham midfielder just lose his rag like that. I mean, his own team, the opposition were trying to stop him. Alisson Becker, of course, he plays him in the Brazil national team, came out and physically wrestled him away, but he was determined to get sent off. And the statement afterwards, all right, saying that he got no support during the 2 years that his gambling issues were being investigated, of which he's been found innocent. But given the proximity. His own father has been found guilty of some of those accusations. You think rather than bringing this up on social media, you just want to distance yourself as far as you could from it. Really, I mean, I don't know what got into him. I don't know what got into him. But I spoke to Tim Vickery about this on Trans Europe Express last night, and he is a notorious hothead, as to quote Tim, even by Brazilian standards.
Right, okay, yeah. I mean, from a Liverpool point of view, Arne Slot freshened things up. He was bold in putting Salah on the bench. I mean, he got a goal out of Isak, and he got a better performance out of Wirtz. So
that was a proper Isak finish, actually.
Yeah, so he would argue job that maybe this could be the lift-off. Who knows?
Well, maybe the question is... that hasn't been answered is the problem is fitting two very undefensive players in Mo Salah, legend of course, and Christian Wirtz in the team at the same time, because the lack of Salah certainly freed up Wirtz creatively. Look, predicting the end of Mo Salah is a fool's game, because there were people asking the same questions about a year ago and he went on to have an absolutely amazing season. But time catches up with everybody. Well, that's just one that you've got to watch very, very closely.
Danny Kelly's with us, and we're going to keep going game by game through the Premier League weekend. We'll move on to Forest 0, Brighton 2 very shortly. The latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast is out now. Majestic and Alan Pardew round up all the weekend's Premier League action after Arsenal and Chelsea draw at the Bridge and Spurs lose at home to Fulham. If you want to hear more than that, you can go to the talkSPORT Daily, which is available on all good podcast platforms now.